Robert Kolker, Hidden Valley Road, Inside the Mind of an American Family. Seldom does a family's story provide such a unique window into understanding a medical condition. Hidden Valley Road, Inside the Mind of an American Family, by Robert Kolker is a captivating account of the Galvin family in which 6 of their 12 children are diagnosed with schizophrenia. Through this summary, explore how their experiences illuminate the hardships associated with mental health issues, the process of grappling with the illness, and the advances made in understanding schizophrenia due in part to the Galvin family's resilience. Familiarize yourself with the unfavorable conditions in mental health institutions and discover how breakthrough genetic research, prompted by the Galvin's suffering, has brought forth a glimmer of hope for the understanding and treatment of schizophrenia.
Hidden Valley Road Home. The Galvins move into their new home on Hidden Valley Road, and the first signs of illness appeared in 2 of their children. The tension that had always existed between their 2 oldest boys worsens as Donald's behavior becomes more erratic while he attends Colorado State University. The situation culminates in Donald setting himself on fire and his subsequent diagnosis with schizophrenia. The troubled mind of Donald. In 1966, Donald received a possible diagnosis of schizophrenia after his erratic behavior, self-destructive acts, and visits to the health center. The definition of schizophrenia has been surrounded by confusion and debate, making it difficult for Mimi and Don to find a solution. As Donald mutters about the CIA and hears gunshots, his parents are hesitant to send him to a psychiatric institution. Saving Donald, mental health stigma in the 1960s. The Galvin family knows all too well the stigma attached to mental illness in the 1960s. With popular theories blaming schizophrenogenic mothers for causing the disorder, Mimi and Don feared Donald's illness would bring scandal to the family. They also wanted to protect him from the deplorable conditions in mental health institutions, as revealed in the exposé, The Caretakers. Despite their efforts to support Donald through therapy and medication, Jim began exhibiting violent and erratic behavior, which Mimi and Don initially refused to acknowledge. The Galvin family's story is a poignant reminder of the importance of mental health awareness and advocacy. The Galvin family tragedy. In the book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, it is revealed that Henrietta's cells were taken without her knowledge in 1951 and used for scientific research. This summary focuses on the Galvin family's tragic experiences in the 1970s, telling the story of escalating violence among siblings, sexual abuse, isolation, and tragedy, ultimately resulting in one brother's death. Despite seeking help from therapists and hospitals, the family struggled to find a safe haven from the chaos at home. Galvin family tragedy. The Galvin family's heartbreaking story reveals the impact of undiagnosed mental illness on multiple family members. When one brother dies, others start experiencing similar symptoms, and the family struggles to understand and cope with the challenges they face. The book examines the stigma surrounding mental illness and the importance of early diagnosis and treatment. Galvin family schizophrenia. Mary, the youngest of the Galvin siblings, experienced the pain of watching her siblings succumb to schizophrenia. Eventually, 6 of the 10 siblings were diagnosed with the disease by 1982. The only available treatment at the time was through medication, which often led to detrimental side effects. Mary escaped the burden of her family's disease by leaving Hidden Valley Road to attend a private boarding school where she adopted a new name, Lindsay. While visiting her ill brother Joe, Lindsay questioned whether the medical treatment provided was the best help for her brother and other schizophrenic patients. Genetic factors and schizophrenia. In the 1970s, the biological understanding of schizophrenia debunked the belief that it stems from bad parenting. Richard Wyatt's study showed that people with schizophrenia have more cerebrospinal fluid in the brain ventricles. Dr. Lynn DeLisi chose the Galvin family for her research because of their genetic markers. She collected genetic data from families with schizophrenia to identify the genetic marker related to schizophrenia. However, it is unlikely that schizophrenia results from just one genetic factor. There is a combination of factors, and stress could act as a trigger. Nonetheless, Lynn DeLisi believes the key to understanding schizophrenia is biological. Schizophrenia's genetic abnormalities. Lynn DeLisi's research breakthrough in understanding schizophrenia was aided by genetic DNA samples from the Galvin family. Dr. Daniel Weinberger's report confirmed that it was a developmental disorder. The onset of symptoms is apparent only when the brain is fully matured. Robert Friedman's sensory gating research revealed how people with schizophrenia have an irregular brain response to all senses. Unlocking the mystery of schizophrenia. Researchers discover the biological home of sensory gating, the 7 receptor, responsible for communication in the brain. People with schizophrenia have around half the amount of 7 receptors and lack acetylcholine, responsible for the creation of receptors. Nicotine and DMXBA can target acetylcholine and the 7 receptors, providing focus and calmness, but the patent for DMXBA is running out and taking the drug 3 or 4 times a day is impractical. Nevertheless, it's hard to ignore the current risks of the drugs in the market. Genetic breakthrough in mental health. The search for genetic links to mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia, leads to a breakthrough finding in the SHANK2 gene. Lynn DeLisi and Michael McDonough discovered a shared mutation in the Galvin family, shedding light on the diagnosis of various mental illnesses beyond schizophrenia. Meanwhile, Dr. Friedman's study on choline as a nutrient also shows promising results in prenatal development. The quest to decipher the genetic links to mental illnesses has taken researchers on a winding path towards a major breakthrough. Lynn DeLisi and Michael McDonough's work began when McDonough decided to pick up DeLisi's project after Pfizer abruptly cancelled it. Their study in 2016 confirmed a shared mutation in the Galvin family's SHANK2 gene, which helped identify the causes and links of various mental illnesses, such as bipolar disorder and autism. The National Institute of Mental Health has urged scholars to redefine schizophrenia, highlighting that it may be a grouping of neurodevelopmental disorders instead of a single disease. In a parallel study, Dr. Friedman discovered that choline, a nutrient found in vitamin supplementation and organic sources, helps kickstart the CHRNA7 gene into making 7 receptors for better cognitive functioning. The Food and Drug Administration has already conducted a study showing that administering choline supplements during pregnancy leads to fewer attention issues, sensory gating problems, and less social withdrawal among children. These findings may be early, but they present promising evidence towards a healthier and brighter future for those with mental health concerns. The Galvin family legacy. The Galvin family remains hopeful about research, despite remaining bitter about the past. In 2016, Susanna DeLisi paid another visit to the Galvin family, where Lindsay had stepped up to become the central organizer and caretaker of the family after Mimi became sick. Dawn passed away in 2003, and Mimi passed away in 2017 but remained positive throughout her sickness. The key message is that while some Galvins hold bitterness, others remain hopeful, and the family's tissues are still being used for research. Lindsay continues to remain hopeful and excited about the ongoing research efforts, but testing new antipsychotic medications remains a risky and expensive endeavor that many companies are not eager to get involved in. Hospitals still rely on potentially dangerous drugs, and so far, there hasn't been much change. In 2017, Lindsay's daughter, Kate, became an undergraduate intern in Dr. Friedman's laboratory, the same laboratory that had known the Galvin family for over 20 years. As part of her studies, Kate was surrounded by blood and tissue samples, some of which came from her family, leading her to wonder if she would ever get the chance to examine her grandfather's brain. While Margaret grew distant from the family, Lindsay felt compelled to take an active role in her siblings' lives, resulting in her becoming Peter's state-designated caretaker. Despite some bitterness, the Galvin family remains hopeful about ongoing research efforts and the legacy they may leave behind.
The tragic journey of the Galvin family is a crucial piece for understanding the complexity of schizophrenia. As we followed the escalation of the siblings' condition, we delved deeper into the genetic findings of Lynn DeLisi, Daniel Weinberger, and Robert Friedman, whose research efforts eventually brought forward vital connections between genes and schizophrenia. Although improvements in medication for schizophrenia remain elusive, and the state of mental health institutions still demands attention, the Galvin family serves as an ongoing reminder that hope and determination remain vital in the pursuit of medical breakthroughs. The story culminates symbolically as Kate, a third-generation Galvin, steps into a lab to study and work with samples provided by her own family members.